thanks to our panelists that are joining us this morning. I'm going to introduce each one of them, starting with Brad Smith. He is the owner of AutomationLinks. He helps businesses set up systems and automation to help save time and finally get consistent results online. Whether you already have a website or a sales funnel or need something new, Brad and his team will create an automated system for you to build relationships with new leads, continue relationships with prospects, and automatically have your customers sign up and pay you when they're ready. Joining us all the way from sunny Florida, that we are very jealous. Brad, we're so glad to have you with us today. Awesome. And now introduce Jan Carpenter. She is the co-owner of CorkTreeCreative. She and Laura Reed started the business together in 2009. They have grown the business from being just the two of them now to having a team of 10. As the business has grown over the last 11 years, Jan and Laura have recruited an exceptional team of talent and expanded the services of the business to include graphic design, public relations, website development, photography and videography, search engine optimization, and digital advertising. The goal of the business is to create a program for organizations that partner with CorkTreeCreative to have a whole marketing department of their own with all the skill sets needed to accomplish all of their marketing goals in one place. They want to be an extension of their clients' staff. Again, so glad to have both of you today. We're going to get started, ladies first, with Jan.
Thank you, Teresa, very much. I'm very happy to be here. Being in marketing during this time has been kind of a challenge. I'm sure it is for most business owners, but the question we get asked a lot is, should I continue to advertise? Should I continue to spend the money? You know, business is down. I can't afford it. You know, what's this going to do in the long term? So we do have some recommendations that we'd like to share. We do find that businesses that stop spending or significantly decrease their advertising efforts during a downturn in the market usually results in more long-term damage than what they would anticipate. They're used to considering ROI as far as what's happening right now, and people are not necessarily buying right now, but this is a really important time to position your brand, to get some general brand awareness out there and messaging, so that when people are returning back to work, when people are returning back to some normal spending, you're the brand that they're looking for your service. There's a variety of industries, so I'm kind of just talking general terms so that this may be applicable to some businesses and not to others. I know some businesses have been hit very hard and it's a difficult time. So these are just some general rules that can kind of help you figure out how to navigate this time. So again, this may not be a time where you're going to see a huge increase in sales because you're advertising or you're putting your message out there, but it's building some brand loyalty, some brand equity, so that when people are ready to make these decisions, you'll be the one they're thinking of. And right now they're doing a lot of research. As we all know, we have a lot of time on our hands. We're spending a lot of time at home. So whether or not you're, a contractor where people are sitting here staring at their kitchen thinking, I really need to work on this. I might not do it right now because I'm a little nervous, but I'm going to be doing a lot of research right now. And same with just general businesses. So what we're recommending during this time is, first of all, stay connected with your customers. So if you've got an email list, which I think Brad's probably going to talk about a lot, this is a really good time to stay connected with them. So what you want to do is you want to think about, who is your customer? What are their needs and how can you best help them? So the messaging at a time like this is probably going to change. You want to make sure that you're putting out a positive brand image. You're reaching out to your customers and letting them know that you're still in business, you're still here, you're here to help them. Maybe it's providing them with some information, or some tips or some things that they can do in relation to your business as far as, just helping them, just some general information. we know that if you stop advertising right now, it may seem like a good idea, but long term, it could really affect sales and how things are going. So what we suggest with the messaging, obviously it does need to change, but we think it needs to be very authentic and very relevant, very relevant. And so we suggest keeping it simple. This is a time where you need to just be very straightforward and make sure that your customers know what you're trying to say. You need to be proactive. You need to be reaching out to your customers and letting them know that you're here during this crisis instead of waiting for them to come to you. And you need to communicate what you're doing during this time. You know, you're keeping your staff safe, you're working from home, your operations are closed, or you've got amended hours or things, you know, like that that are appropriate for your business. Just make sure you're staying out in front of them and communicating with them. Also, we want to make sure that that our message is positive. You know, this is a pretty stressful time. People are watching the news 24/7, and it's a little scary. So keeping your message positive, supporting community businesses, even if you're on Facebook and, you know, you're talking about a food drive or maybe something that your organization has done to support your community. It doesn't always have to be about your product or services. It could just be that you guys are in the community, you're living through this as well, and that you're there to help. So we do have a couple things if you're considering your messaging. Does the message answer what you are doing to look out for your customers during this time? Does the ad provide useful information for safety, prevention, and health services? Another thing to consider, and I know a lot of people have talked about this when they're talking about marketing their products during a situation like this, is the ad insensitive? You know, for example, are you advertising a cleaning product that's really hard to come by? Or maybe you sell electronics, which the electronics industry has been hit pretty hard, but you know, maybe you don't want to stop selling TVs, but maybe you're not advertising the highest, fanciest TV. Maybe it's something a little more affordable or something a little bit easier to access by the general public. And you also want to make sure that your messaging is not inducing panic or fear. There's plenty of that on the news. I'm sure everybody would agree with that. The other thing is not every brand message has to talk about COVID-19. I think you just have to remind your customers that you're there if you need them, and you're there to support them. You know, a couple of examples of that, Ford replaced their planned advertising with marketing messaging that highlights payment relief. You know, Hanes switched production to make masks. A lot of the top brands like Anheuser-Busch are using this time to give a lot of brand awareness to what's going on with COVID-19 or what communities can do to support each other. So there's a lot of things that we can do that are keeping ourselves in front of our audience and our customers. It's not necessarily focusing on the short-term ROI, but really what the long-term brand, what your reputation is, and building that confidence that you're out there and you're in it for the long haul. So with that being said, with the messaging, you know, it may be a good time. We're telling a lot of our clients, you know, if you are slower, if you are working from home, and you have some extra time on your hands, this is a really good time to reevaluate what your marketing tactics are and if they're effective during this time. As we know, online visibility is at an all-time high. I would say that the majority of our clients that are participating in digital advertising programs and paid search programs are getting at least double the exposure and the click-through rate that they were a couple of months ago, just because people have a great deal of time on their hands and they're spending a lot of time researching. So this would be a good time to evaluate your marketing tactics and look at how you're reaching your audience and if the way that you were doing it before is still effective. It may be something that returns back to normal, in a few months, or it may not. So I think this is a time when you have to be really flexible, and what worked before may not work now. So it's time to evaluate, how that is, how that's, actually affecting your business. Let me see. So determining who your customers are and where they are spending their time. Is it digital advertising? Which, if you don't know what I'm referring to, we kind of call them stalker ads. So if you're on the internet and say you're looking for a pair of shoes, and then every time you go visit a different website, those shoes appear for you to purchase. That's called contextual retargeting and digital retargeting. People that have been to your website and checked you out, you then start seeing their ads. That's website retargeting. You might want to consider Facebook and Instagram. If you haven't advertised on those platforms before, people are spending a great deal of time online. LinkedIn, if you're not, a B2C business, maybe you're B2B, so LinkedIn might be a better place to be. Google Ads, which if you're doing a search and you see those ads at the top, and email marketing. Those are all great ways to get out in front of your audience when they're spending a lot of time behind their computers. So that's just kind of it in a nutshell. People are still spending money. They're, consumer spending is still somewhat steady. I mean, there's some industries that have been hit a lot harder than others. But at the very least, this is a perfect time to get out and get your brand recognition and your brand awareness at a very strong level, because those that continue to advertise during times like this typically come back or rebound from a situation like this much faster and much stronger. And as much as I hate to say this, because I'm a business owner and I don't want this for anyone, some businesses are not going to make it. And there is a market share out there that needs to be captured. So you have to think about that as well. So that's kind of what I have, in a nutshell. I don't know if Brad wants to go ahead and talk, or if you guys have any questions or what you would like to cover next.
I think there's some questions that came in, but Jan, you covered them in what you were talking about, except one. How you mentioned marketing ROI. So do you talk with your clients and give them kind of an idea of how they should be doing that, or do you provide that service for your marketing ROI? It's something that, when I work with clients, I always ask them, well, what's working for you? What's not? And they're like, I don't know, I've just kind of done a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I call it throwing Jello on the wall and see what sticks. But a lot of times they don't know what is sticking. So what would be your recommendations, or again, does your company, do you do that?
Yes. ROI is one of those things that can be measured in a lot of ways, and digital marketing tactics are typically much easier to measure than a lot of other tactics, like a billboard. I mean, we know maybe 30,000 people drive by it every day, but number one, is it really our audience? And number two, do we know if that's how they came to us? It's a very difficult thing, and advertising in general can be difficult because there's a variety of things that play into it. As we all know, showing your ad one time is probably not going to induce an action or purchase or something like that. It's multiple things, and it's usually a combination of things. And brand awareness in particular, which is what I'm basically saying, this is what you need to be focusing on at the moment if your product or service is not something that's high priority. Brand awareness is very hard to measure because all you're trying to do is get your name out there. You just want people to have seen it. Now, when I talk about click-through rates, that means somebody clicked on your ad and went to your website and they kind of checked you out. So when you're talking about digital marketing, even when you're trying to do some brand awareness campaigns, you can track a lot of that to at least see that people are looking at you. And I'm sure Brad will talk about, if you're emailing your clients, you can see your open rates and things like that. So the return on investment, we do work with our clients to help determine whether or not what they're spending is actually getting them sales. And a lot of times, you work on some ad tactic and you think, oh, this is going to be a great approach, but it's really not generating anything. And so you have to determine, is it the message? Is it the information we're giving them once they get there? Or is it just that this isn't how we reach our audience? It's not a clear-cut answer, but you have to kind of work through it. And what we've found with the clients that we work with over long term, that a variety of tactics works best. So if you have a budget that will allow you to do a few different things, you can definitely see some improvements, over time. But advertising is not a one-shot deal. It's really an investment over the long term.
Yes, very, very much. So it's a matter, I'm hearing the powerful message from you is don't stop advertising, don't stop, your marketing, right now overall, which again, I see, our prospects will talk to me or clients will say, I need to cut expenses. And I would say that's where they think, and that's not where, we should be. But like what you're also offering is knowing where that ROI is coming from or where people are right now. And so like you said, more on the computer. So getting that to the digital ads. So redirecting, maybe what your marketing spend is rather than cutting back. It's a redirection.
It just might be a shift in what you're doing. That doesn't mean that it might not go back to some of these same tactics that you're doing now, but you just need to evaluate if what you're doing is in the proper area.
So it's another pivot, people, as you've heard that word on our webinars here and elsewhere. It's another pivot. Let me check Todd or Brad. Do you have any questions? Do you guys want to pop on? Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jan. And we will come back. We'll switch over to Brad now, and he'll talk about it, and then we'll come back and see if anybody has questions. And for the both of you to tie it all together, okay?
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Take it away, Brad.
Awesome. And Jan, I did have a question for you that we'll jump in and ask later. And just about the ad grants. I want to see, I know there's some ad grants out there. Maybe you can put that together. I think Facebook is coming out with an ad grant to help people get started with ads. I wanted to know some more about that. So I'm going to throw a number out for you guys, and this is a percentage based that I want to throw out. And if you can write this down, the average website gets a 0.001% sign up rate. And that's about what I've seen, about 90% of websites out there. Now, what does that mean? Out of 1,000 visitors that come to your website, only about one will sign up. So 0.001%. So out of 1,000, only one will sign up. And why? Because when somebody comes to your website, the majority of websites out there are information based. They're all about you. They're all about your business, all the great things you offer. Your about page that you spent so much time writing with all the information. Or maybe you don't have a website, which I'll talk about next. But if you do have a website, most likely it's informational based. It's all about you and all the great things you've accomplished, all the great things you offer. But when you see the conversion rate, the sign up rate skyrocket is when you make it all about your customer. What are their pain points? What are they looking for? There's a word out there called bounce rate, and that is when somebody comes to your website, how long it takes before they leave right away. A lot of times I see really high bounce rate for these informational based businesses because the messaging is not right. So you're not acknowledging that you're the right person for what they are searching for. So I'll bring it back. If somebody goes to Google and looks for shoes, Nike pops up and there's shoes. So, hey, I'm in the right place. There's shoes here. Does your business do that? Or is it, this is all the different things we offer. You need to acknowledge that you are the person that is going to solve what they're looking for. You're the expert. You're the business that's there for them. So instead of having your business name at the top, Nobody cares what your business name is. To be blunt, you need to have their pain point at the top. What are they searching for? So at the top of your website, an instant increase in signups and conversions can be acknowledging their pain point. Hey, I'm in the right place. If I look for weight loss on Google and the first thing I see on this website is I will help you lose weight, that's going to solve my pain point right there. Oh, I'm in the right place. I better keep scrolling. Now, Jan mentioned that people usually when they come or see your ad, they don't buy the first day. That is true. A lot of times somebody comes to your website and you need to build a relationship with them. So I always say, how can I shake hands with somebody through the computer, right? Because if I met someone face to face, most likely we're going to do business together at some point because we built that instant relationship. So on your website, are you building better relationships with your visitors? Do they feel like they're getting to know you, getting to see all that you provide and that you're going to be there for them? Or let's take it back, just giving them basic information and saying, hey, go to the contact page and fill it out. You're really not building that better relationship to continue building it long term. So how can we build better relationships with visitors? Here's one thing I like to say is when somebody comes to your site and you acknowledge their pain point, you can actually then have a video there or some sort of video that we recommend to start building that relationship. When somebody sees you on camera or on video, they instantly feel like they're getting to know you. Now, this still doesn't mean they're going to go buy right away. I'm going to get into that. But it does mean that you are going to be able to build that relationship. They're going to remember you. They're going to see your face. And then most likely they will come back to your business when they need you most. And that's my next point is Amazon. Let's think of Amazon. This is one of the biggest websites out there, right? Now, what happens if they started doing their marketing and their advertising before having their e-commerce platform in place? So they'd be wasting money on ads, they'd be wasting money on their marketing because nobody could go to their site, sign up and buy something, right? They didn't have a website, they were just marketing and ads. Or it wasn't easy for somebody to go sign up and buy something. And this is a big thing that I see. A lot of people go out and they start their marketing, they start their ads, but then where can the customer go sign up? Where can they go purchase something? And so I'm going to come all the way back to the website. The average website just has a contact page. Okay, what's that going to do for the customer? How is that going to help the customer? They need to go put their name, their email, their phone. There's a big blank message section there. They got to think about what they have to say to you. You're not making it very easy for them to sign up and buy. For Amazon, I could probably go buy something in 5 seconds. Just go to the app, click what I want, boom, I'm in the checkout. It remembers my credit card. Your website most likely just has the contact page and makes it difficult for someone to buy or even get in touch. Nobody likes to fill out that contact form. And what I've seen, I don't like to go to the contact form because I don't think anyone's going to respond back, or I don't really know what to put in that message there. So I'll take a quick break for a second just for us to think about that. And if anyone has any questions about the first part or that building their relationship with somebody to come to the website, let me know in the comments and I'll get back to it. So next thing on the site is the copywriting. When somebody comes to the site, that pain point, but then you want to keep acknowledging their pain points throughout the site. You can have your information on other pages. They'll eventually get to that. But you want to offer, this is a quick trick just to think of it. What's the #1 pain point you offer someone or that you can fix for somebody that they're searching for? And then you acknowledge 3 general pain points. So I always like to refer back to fitness, right? Weight loss, I can help you lose weight. And then how am I going to help you lose weight? We can do a workout, we can do a meal plan, or you're looking for a shopping list, right? And then you can offer 3 solutions for those 3 pain points. So you almost want to do it in a triangle. At the top is the main pain point, the most general pain point people are searching for. And then you want to have 3 mini pain points underneath it, and then 3 solutions that you'll offer. And as soon as somebody sees that, wow, they're going to fix my pain point. Oh, you're right. I do need a fitness program, or I would like to have a shopping list. Oh, sign up. Here's a program that will give you a shopping list, a weight loss plan, and a workout plan. That's the type of messaging and copywriting you want to put on there because you're acknowledging them and exactly what they're looking for. I mentioned videos. The videos can go the same way. I usually recommend 1 to 2 minute videos on your homepage, real short. hey, I'm Brad, I offer this, I can help you with these pain points, and here's my solutions, and then tell them what to do next. And that kind of goes into my last part of this, is telling somebody what to do next on your site. So you don't want to send someone just to your contact page and make them think about what they want to put in there. They may not even know what questions to ask, or they might not even know what to fill out in the message section. So we always recommend, if you want somebody to sign up, give you their name, their email, and phone. That's going to be a good prospect right there. That's a good lead for your website, right? You want to exchange something for them. So some examples I have is you can give a free PDF ebook on your site, you can give a free trial, or you can even do a demo. And in exchange, they're going to get those three things, but you're also get them to sign up for something. By having something in exchange for their contact details, I've seen that increase sign-up rates on the website by up to 7%. So you're at 0.001% just by exchanging something that they want or that can help them or that can benefit them. Just like Jan said, in your ads, you need to be offering something that benefits them or that can help them, providing value. That's what you want to put on your website in exchange for their contact details. Once you have their contact details, you give them that offer that's going to help them, and now you can send them to where you want them to go next. That's going back to the next stage. Where do you want them to go next? Here's a free offer, then I want you to sign up, and then I want you to schedule a call with me. So now you can send them to a scheduler on your website. Or here's a free demo or a free trial you sign up for, and then here's the purchase page to sign up and pay me. You need to have those steps in place, guide them where to go, tell them what to do next, and somebody will follow, and people will follow that. And that's why we call it a website sales funnel. You're taking the customer by the hand and you're leading them down the different paths, making it easy for them to where you want them to end up. Do you want them to schedule with you? Do you want them to buy something from you? And different things like that. The last thing I just have to share here is usually nobody's ready to buy the first day. They need to have that relationship with you. And I think, Jan, you mentioned this, where somebody's usually not ready to buy the same day they see you or see your ad. But if you can stay top of mind and continue being in front of them, continue building that relationship, that's when you're going to see amazing results. I had somebody sign up and pay me 3 years after first meeting. I met him 3 years ago. He wasn't interested or didn't have the funds for it. A year later, he was in my Facebook group. Then he was on my email list. 3 years later, he called me and said, hey, I've seen your stuff for the last 3 years. I'm ready. So it doesn't matter if someone signs up the same day, the week, the next month, the next year, as long as you're continuing to stay in touch. And how can you do that? And I have a couple tips here. Emails, of course. So you're giving that free offer on your website. So you're in exchange, you're going to get their email. Continue sending emails after to build a relationship. Add them to a Facebook group. Have a Facebook group where you have a community of people. And then they're going to continue seeing you providing value in your Facebook group. And also text messaging. You can have text messaging automation and also the retargeting ads like Jan mentioned. So if somebody comes to the website, you can retarget them and continue showing your ads to them and reminding them, hey, maybe you weren't ready to buy today, but here's a helpful video tip in a Facebook ad, or here's a helpful article in an Instagram ad. Continue showing them, continue building the relationship, and that's when you see some really cool results. One last thing on the emails. If anyone has questions about that, is I recommend 6 to 7 follow-up emails where you're providing them like testimonials, reviews, telling them about the different services you recommend. And you want to send these 6 to 7 within the first month of them signing up. That's a good way to give them information. I would throw in some value in there, provide them some value. And then after the 6 or 7, you basically know if yes, they're ready to sign up, or no, they're not. They're ready to purchase or they're not ready to purchase. You've followed up with them. You stayed in touch through emails. Maybe they've been on your social media channels. And if they say yes, that's great. They become a customer. If they say no after the month and after you're following up, I call it put them in a top of mind group, right? This is where you want to stay top of mind for the next 3 years, right? Send them an email once a month. Put them in your Facebook group so you can continue showing them value. Add them in your retargeting list, different things like that so you can stay top of mind. I know that was a lot. I went right through it, so if you guys have any questions, it would be awesome to answer them. Teresa, I'm ready for you to jump in. If you want to come in, maybe you have some questions too for me.
I'm coming back in slowly here.
Awesome.
I have a question. I think you went into answering it as you kept going in your talk, but to stretch a little bit more on it, it's something that I fight with personally. When you talk about the pain point, you know, having that be broadcasted really on your website to catch attention, I always struggle with there's so many pain points, right, that I work with clients on. So how do I pick one to showcase, or you know, do I rotate them? And so did I hear you right? Pick 3. I could pick 3 pain points.
Yeah, so the first one has to be the most general pain point. You can only choose one at the very top. It has to be super general. It could be something that all of your clients experience. And it can be super general as long as it's not your business name at the top.
Okay. Okay.
And then directly underneath that, then you can acknowledge 3 specific pain points.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks for that clarification.
I've got a question, and I think both of you guys could probably answer this. With regards to, I mean, you know, marketing is marketing, but is it, you know, and there's so many, like there's ClickFunnels and you know, some of these companies that are out there that offer this, you know, the solution, but you know, I don't think that this is something that can be done by yourself. And I think that's the question for basically for both of you is, you know, do you find that that people know or can do this by themselves?
You know, I know as a business owner, you know, when you start a business, you of course try to do everything that you can yourself, because you obviously are trying to get things off the ground. You're trying to save money, you're trying to learn where to put your money. We typically find, and I'll say this for social media because I think that's an easy one to understand. I think what Brad's doing is certainly more complicated, and I wouldn't say that the average person could do the things that he's talking about on their own. But Facebook, for example, you know, everybody's like, well, how hard is Facebook? I can do Facebook. You know, I mean, I do that all the time. I put pictures of my kids or I do whatever. But the biggest problem or that we find our clients have when trying to manage a Facebook campaign themselves, or even adding news items. I mean, I'm sure you would agree, Brad, adding news items and blogs and things to your website. We all think we can do that because it's not rocket science, but do you have time? And if you don't do it well, it reflects badly on your business. And if, you know, we tell our clients that have news items or blogs or things like that on their websites that they want to maintain, we say, okay, it's 2016 was the last time you put an article on there. You need to remove that section from your website if you're not going to maintain it, because all you're doing is making yourself look bad and like you're totally not paying attention to your marketing and your brand. And, you know, it's just, it doesn't look good. And same with social media. The biggest problem that our clients have with social media, it's not that they can't do it. It's number one, they don't know what to say. They don't know how to plan ahead so that when you're not every day going, oh, gee, what am I going to talk about today? I mean, we typically do calendars a month in advance. That doesn't mean you can't ad lib or add things in as they occur, which the business owner typically is the one that needs to do because they're actually living that experience. But that's the problem. It's not that the person can't do it. It's just when it's not their skill set. I don't know how many of you have a task that you're supposed to do and you don't really know how to do it and you don't really know exactly what you want to do. So what do? You say, I'll do that tomorrow. So you do it tomorrow, which never comes. So that's my take on it. Yes, people can do it themselves. They just have to be realistic and really evaluate, are you actually doing it? Because if you're not, you're just hurting yourself. I mean, you've got 2 choices there.
Yeah, and just to touch on that is there's all these solutions out there for you as a business owner, and all the gurus or the course or this. But when it comes down to it, Todd, you mentioned ClickFunnels, you still have to do it yourself. So you have to learn it first, then you got to try to do it on your own. Now, if you do want to do it on your own, put it in your stinking scheduler. If you schedule calls, then schedule your social media posts. Every Friday at 12 o'clock for an hour, that's all you get. You can upload your blog and post a social media post, but put it in your scheduler if you're going to try to do it on your own. If it's not in your scheduler, you won't do it.
And I would recommend for both of those things, you know, I think what Brad said is perfect. I mean, you have to make time for it, but maybe make time for several, like not spend an afternoon and do, you know, 10 posts for social media for the month or something, or do 3 blogs because you're in the mood to write. You know, it's difficult, I think, to sit down and just do one at a time. So try to maybe plan on a few. It'll make you feel better and like you have something accomplished, and then you can have it ready to go and you're not scrambling at the last minute.
Yeah.
I did want to comment also on a couple of things that Brad said. The video is a perfect idea. I mean, we recommend that to our clients all the time. So I think he's right on par with that one. You can introduce yourself and get some personality. But the thing that we like to say to our clients as well is, you know, it's great to have professional photography. It's great to have professional videos and things. And if you're doing like a corporate video that's a couple minutes long or something a little bit more involved with multiple interviews, you know, a professional might be a good way to go. But you know, getting your iPhone out and just doing some quick videos about what's going on in your business or what's going on in your community, or a tip, like for example, for example, we have an HVAC client that we say you don't have, it doesn't have to be rocket science. Go outside and have your assistant come film you showing somebody how to take the filter out of their air conditioning and hose it off, or, you know, simple little tips that are 15, 30 seconds. I mean, people like that. And we all know video is more engaging. So anyway, I wanted to say, I really thought that Brad's point about the video was great. And then one other thing I wanted to comment that he said was people are coming back to him, you know, that have contacted him 3 years ago. We just had the same thing. We've been trying to reach out to clients and some people that we provide proposals to, but I had a lady that called me last week that I gave her a proposal a year ago. And she goes, well, I've got a little extra time on my hands, so could we sit down and talk about my market? So, you know, awesome. Don't be afraid to reach out to people that maybe you've given proposals to in the past, or, you know, you've had some engagement with. I mean, again, it might not be that they didn't want your service or need it. Maybe they just didn't have time and now they've forgotten. So I highly recommend reaching back out to some of those people from the past.
Definitely. Real quick on that, Jan, sorry, Teresa, is I get this a lot from business owners. Oh, I don't want to have to follow up with someone for 1 to 3 years. Okay, so they actually stack. You have 3 levels that will actually stack, and that's what will help you scale your business. You have people that will sign up today or this week, right? And you have people that will sign up next month or in the next 3 months. And then you have people that will sign up in the next year or the next 3 years. So think about that in the next year when that stack is piled up on top of each other. Today, you have someone that signs up today. You have someone that came to you last month. You have someone that came to you last year. There's 3 signups today, all from that stack piling up over the next year. And hopefully that makes sense. But if you start following up with everybody and staying top of mind, then in a year from now, you'll have all 3 of those levels coming in on the same day or the same week. And let me know if that didn't make sense. But
no, that totally does. Totally.
And I was going to answer your question about the Facebook ads and the Google ads. Facebook was offering some grants to businesses that have between 2 and 50 people. They've been in business over a year and they've had some COVID-19 impact on their business. However, it's not currently available in this area. Google is providing, I think it's $150 credit for people that are purchasing Google ads, but they have to have been purchasing them over a year. And you don't have to do anything with that one. I think they're just crediting people or businesses, but Facebook, you actually have to fill out an application, but it's not currently being offered here.
Cool, thank you.
I think your point with regards to, you know, both of your guys' point with regards to, you know, having that homemade video, you know, but again, I think I know my beginning videos are a lot better because I had people that said, Well, Todd, don't stick it down below because you're seeing your nose underneath your nose. You know, fix this and fix that. And, you know, and I think, you know, just like anything, just like having an attorney, a CPA, you know, or anything else, and having that marketing professional there behind you to give you that extra information, because you're gonna, you know, mess up, and it's better to have somebody in the background to help you. And, you know, and I think that's what, you know, why we've needed to have this as part of your refresh period in our series, because marketing is that important for you to do. But with that, what other things should companies be looking at to refresh their business?
Probably more in line with what Brad was talking about and what he's doing is, we all know that the online connection with our clients is getting greater and greater. Mobile is just going through the roof, but I think sitting down right now and actually looking at your materials and making sure, you know, is my website up to date? Am I actually, you know, are the services that I provide, have they changed over the last 4 years, you know, since I did my website? Do I have everything, you know, is it all still the same? Because, you know, even with our website, it's like the cobbler has no shoes, right? You know, I go back and look at things on my website and I go, wow, it's been a couple of years since we updated that. You know, like, you just don't think about it because it's your stuff, you're really close to it, you're marketing it. So even, you know, people that do this every day, we still have to be conscious of those same things for our own businesses. So I would just say that if you've got this extra time, spend it a little bit on yourself, spend it on your business, and just make sure that your messaging is what you're wanting people to think about you when they see it, and make sure that everything's up to date and current. And if you're not doing things well, people can see that. So I suggest getting a professional to help you with those areas that you're not doing well, or don't do them. You know, like I said, like the articles and things, if your last one was posted in 2016 or 2014, our recommendation would be to take that down, or take the dates off, or do something, or maybe refresh the content and republish it so that it's current. You know, if it's still something that's really relevant to your business and it's not necessarily needing to go away, maybe just put a fresh spin on it, or see if the times have changed, you know. Like, especially like products, you know, I look at blogs all the time to do home improvements, DIY, and then I see like, oh, that article was written in 2014. Now this is a different scenario because I'm searching the internet as a whole, and they may have very current things on their website. But sometimes I wonder, well, have products changed? Have things changed since 2014? Should I be looking for a more recent article? Because technology's changed, products have changed, things like that. So that's another thing to consider. If the information is still good, maybe just refresh it and put it back on the site so that people feel like you've paid attention to it recently.
Definitely. And just to go back to videos, videos is actually what helped me grow my business personally. So I knew I had to do videos, and I knew I liked videos when I watched them, and they were relatable. So Todd, when you do a video and it's unprofessional and you're doing it with your phone, but I'm seeing your personality, I would rather work with you than someone that spent 20 grand on a video that's all professionally edited and fake, right? Because you're relatable. Oh, this is how Todd's going to be when I'm in the office, right? He's going to be holding the phone up to his nose while we're talking. But I would rather work with you because I have a relationship with you. It's relatable to me. It's not perfect. So, so a business, what you can do now is write down 4 topics that you can help your customers with. Just write them down. You have 4 topics. Put the phone on a tripod, whatever they're called now, and turn it horizontal, because this is going to go into YouTube or your website. If it's vertical, it's not going to fit. So make sure it's horizontal on the tripod. And you're going to talk for 2 to 5 minutes about one of those 4 topics. You're going to post it on Facebook. At the end of it, in that video, I want you to tell the people, send me a message if you'd like more info or need some help. This is something you can do on your own. You don't need to hire someone for it. I told Todd this, make a video, put it once a week, provide some value, and tell them to message you. That's all you have to do. You don't even have to have a website yet. But that's something a business, hey, there we go. See? Probably $10 on Amazon.
I think I have the same one, Todd.
And don't forget to turn it horizontal, and then it's not going to look good on your website or on YouTube. A lot of people don't know this.
When I started, yeah, I have a lot of verticals, and I was going to delete them. That exactly for what he said. I'm going out there showing real. You know,
Exactly.
This was real. I made my goofs. Okay, watch me get better. You can do this too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's why reality TV is so popular. You know, people want real. You know, and that's like what I was saying earlier, you know, about messaging being authentic. Like, it needs to be real. People can see past that. So if you're genuinely caring about your customers and you have some good solutions, I think that it will serve you well.
Definitely. And adding the call to action at the end. Your video should be about providing value, but in the middle and at the end, by the way, if you need help with this, send me a message. Super simple. Giving them that call to action, giving them permission to send you a message, and they're going to send you a message and they're going to become a customer, most likely. So, because you told them to, you gave them something to do, or even a comment. Leave a comment if you need help with this, and then you can send them a message.
So with that, Brad and Jan, what is your call to action?
If you need help marketing, call me. No, really, a lot of it is, you know, if you just need to sit down and talk with somebody and find out what, like, a good strategy or approach, or most people come to us and they say, I need all these services, but I don't have any idea what it costs. You know, it's like me, I need a retaining wall fixed. I have zero idea what that costs until they come out and give me an estimate. So a lot of people ask us, well, how much does marketing cost? Well, there are so many variables that we really have to just talk to each person, find out what they're trying to accomplish. And what we really recommend, if you are going to talk to a marketing professional, which, and I hope it's us or Brad, that you have some type of budget in mind. I know a lot of people don't like to say what their budget is because they think that we're just going to take their budget. But what it means is we can come up with a million different ideas for you. You know, there's TV, there's radio, there's billboards, there's digital advertising, there's Google. I mean, there's a million different things. But if you come to me and say, I have $500, then I know what you can do with $500. If you come to me and say, I have $50 and I have a year and I want to promote, you know, XYZ, then we know how to best utilize that money. It's not that we're trying to take all the money that you have. It's we can't tell you how to spend it if we don't know how much you have. That's just one of those tips, because we typically, people don't want to give us a budget and we have no idea how to give you a plan.
Yeah. And for myself, I've got this little calendar here. So this will tell you exactly what to post on your Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube every single day of the week. So if you got, I'm going to give this away for everyone. And this isn't ads. This is just what you can do on your own as a business owner. So if you guys want to write this down, just shoot me a text and I'll send it over to you. 727-888-5855. 727-888-5855. And I've got a little automation thing that will just send this right over to you if you text the number.
And if anybody would like to reach out to me, my email is Jan, Jan, at Cork, C-O-R-K, treecreative.com. And if you just want to talk, you know, just have a consultation and talk about whether or not working with somebody or an organization like ours is a good idea for you or not, we're happy to talk to you anytime.
Awesome.
Great. Todd, you want to close with final words?
You're going to give an attorney the final word? No, we really hope that you were providing a lot of value with this. We're just so thankful for you guys, Brad and Jan, for being here and giving us a good understanding of marketing and where the status of marketing is, and we always value your opinion. But look forward next week. We start a new set of series. Look back. I think we're going to be posting this video as well. So anybody that is watching this on a refresh or a review, you've got the contact information for Jan and Brad. If you want specific messages to them, please let us know, and we'll surely get you in contact with both Brad and Jan. But again, I think Teresa and I both thank Brad and Jan for being here, and you definitely gave us some information to take back and to think about. So again, have a great day, and we look forward to seeing all the participants next week.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. I'm looking forward to watching your videos, Todd.
Yeah, I can't wait to see them. Bye.
Thanks, Teresa.
You guys have a great weekend, everybody.